This weekend we're celebrating the second anniversary of the One Project. A couple of years ago we understood that there were some opportunities that were presented to us, but we weren't going to be able to do them through the regular giving of our tithes and offerings. It was going to cost some money to do this, so we entered into a capital stewardship campaign, which meant that we asked people to give over and above their regular tithes to a specific project that we're calling the One Project. We called it that because we want to emphasize that we're one church that's meeting in various locations and various services. You see, we know biblically you don't define a church by its location, but by its vision. And we all want to see people believe in God, to belong to His family, and to become fully devoted followers of Christ. But for that to happen, there were some things that we needed to do. And so a couple years ago, many of you made a commitment, and it has paid off big time. Let's take a look at what's happened in the last 2 years through the One Project. One of the very first things we did with the One Project was put in ball fields here at the Lakeside campus. We have a little bit over 4 acres that we have put in here, and man, it is amazing what God has done with it. Doing Upward Sports, we always knew the power of Upward through the basketball ministry at the downtown campus. And we saw that we could touch hundreds of lives, reach families, minister to people, share the gospel, and so we expanded through these fields. On these fields, we do sports camps in the summer, we do Upward football, Awana has their games out here, but now we're in the season of Upward soccer. This season we have over 350 kids involved in Upward soccer. Now think about that. That means that today on this field, between 1,200 and 1,400 people will be gathered here. But you know, it's not just about the numbers, it's about what happens during the season. Devotions are given every time, and kids will come to understand about God's plan for their lives. The gospel will be presented, and we'll see some of these kids accept Christ as their personal Lord and Savior this year. Families are ministered to, people connect, and it's just a great way to build community. All of this is made possible because of the One Project. It really is making a difference. Another focus of the One Project was to renovate this chapel and the grounds around it. And I tell you, it looks beautiful, both inside and out. At 8:30 every Sunday morning, we have a service in our chapel. It's an intimate service. It's growing, and it's quite honestly one of my favorite times of the week because it's just so relational. But you know, this space has already also been used to minister to families. We have said goodbye to loved ones in here as we've had several funerals. And we've celebrated what God was doing in people's lives as we've had weddings in here. We've done banquets and seminars, and it's just a great space that God is using in many ways through our church to touch those around us. The grounds around the chapel have been transformed. A couple of years ago, much of the grass was dead, the landscaping was old, and the building looked beaten up. But today has become transformed into what I think is one of the most beautiful spots in Windermere. The One Project made all of that possible. And you also know that a portion of the One Project was to go to our work in Burundi, Africa. Because of the One Project, today we have a church that's running over 100 people with a full-time pastor who's being used by God to change lives. The building that you built is being used as a community center during the week, and lives are continually being touched. We built a medical clinic that will soon be staffed, and this building will be the centerpiece of a village that we're building. The One Project giving is feeding the poor, taking care of widows and orphans, and reaching people for Christ halfway around the world. And one of the biggest parts of the One Project is the children's building here at Lakeside. Behind me, a 10,000-foot children's building is being built. It's going to be a place where we have kids worship. It'll be a place where our weekday preschool will meet, and then All the preschool and some children's classes will be in here. It's going to be exciting to see just the bustle in the hallways as families are dropping off kids. Parents are going to be right next door, and they're going to be able to worship worry-free, knowing that their child is right next door being taken care of. The foyer is going to be expanded, so it's going to be a place where more people can hang out and greet each other and spend some time getting to know each other. We're also going to have restrooms, inside, indoor restrooms. We've never had that at Lakeside. We're excited about that. And all of this is being made possible because of the One Project. As you can see, we've come a long way. But what I want to challenge us this weekend is let's finish strong. 2 years ago, like I said, many of you gave to the One Project. And let me just say this, every dollar that you've given is making a difference. Not only I believe you're storing rewards in heaven, but you've seen so many things that are happening because you've given sacrificially to the One Project. I want to appeal to two groups here today. The first are those who have already given, and man, you've made that commitment and it's making a difference. And here's what I want, first of all, say thank you, but secondly, I want to challenge you to finish strong, to finish that commitment. And even this, maybe your financial status has changed in the last couple of years. As you know, 2 years ago was one of the worst times to go into this kind of campaign, where we were with the economy, but it's something we needed to do, and maybe it's improved. Would you prayerfully consider maybe even giving more than you've committed? But then to the others who have not given up to this point, many of you, in fact, a lot of you are newer to the church, and you really haven't been challenged to give to the One Project. Well, here's your challenge. We put a card in the bulletin this weekend. If you would pull that out, here's what we're asking you to do. A one-year commitment over the next 12 months to give over and above your tithes to help us finish strong with the One Project. As you can see, it's already making a difference. When we open up that children's building at Lakeside, we're going to see, I believe, incredible growth. Now, it's not growth for growth's sake. It's growth to help people believe in God, more people believe in God. They need to have a place to come to belong to His family as we all become fully devoted followers of Christ.